folks, have we ever had to wait longer for a Nintendo game? It has been 8 years since Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was first teased, and we now have it in our hands. Folks, welcome on in to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast, episode 169. I am your host, Nintendo Switch 2 YouTuber EmSwizzle. It's a great day to be alive on this chilly December day. It's snowing where I live, which is pretty cool, but I'm here to walk you through what is on today's program. First things first, we're going to go over some Nintendo news, and we have quite the Mario Kart World DLC rumor, which may be happening in the next few days, so you'll want to hear about that when we get to it. After the news, we'll go over my first thoughts on Metroid Prime 4, or should I say, my first thoughts, because joining us for that segment, and that segment only, is AndresRestart, the biggest Metroid fan I know. He's an awesome guy, he's a Nintendo news YouTuber, he will be joining us to tell us about Metroid Prime 4. I'm no expert, so I'll let him do most of the talking, most of the here are my thoughts, should you buy it, is it trash, all that stuff. After that, we'll dive into the question block segment where I answer your questions you asked me. Q&A time, you know how it is, but I don't want to delay anything. Let's go ahead and get to Nintendo news right about now.
Welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast.
I swear, this podcast makes time fly by. Like, I wake up and we're doing the next episode. Anyway, it's December 5th. Last week I recorded, it was November 28th. Like, time's flying over here. But anyway, we have Nintendo news to kick off the show. And let's go ahead and dive in. Because our first piece of news, folks, I think could possibly be Idiots of the Week. Like, we should have an award. Which company? Biggest Idiot of the Week. Listen, I don't hate Sega or Sonic. And me saying Idiots of the Week, they'll probably never sponsor me again. That's totally fine. But I gotta speak my piece where it is, okay? So, let's talk. Sega, this week, you know, it's Nintendo-ish news. It's on Switch, so I'm counting it. They released Sonic Racing Crossworlds Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, which is the enhanced version of the game for the Switch 2. Why was this not there at launch? I don't quite know. But they released this Switch 2 edition. Max, why are they Idiots of the Week? Let me tell you a few different things. So, first of all, they're releasing this Switch 2 edition on the same day as Metroid Prime 4. Listen, Sega could have released it Friday, which is today as of recording, the 5th. They did it on the same Thursday as Metroid Prime. I feel like most games that are not Nintendo release Friday. Why are they copying the Thursday thing? I don't know. Also, we gotta talk about, do you all remember when Sonic Superstars released the same week as Super Mario Bros. Wonder? A lot of people were like, oh, which 2D, game of the two gaming giants, Mario and Sonic, is gonna do better? Obviously, Mario Wonder did. But then an interview came out a few months later where somebody from Sega was like, yeah, man, that game didn't sell as well as we thought. I think Mario Wonder had a part to play in it. Like, basically, if they didn't learn not to compete with Nintendo, I don't know what I was saying. They should have learned not to compete with Nintendo. Now, you got people deciding between Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is $70 on Switch 2, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which is also, if you count everything, $70 on Switch 2. Would it kill you? Would it kill you to spread out the release date? You could have dropped any other week. I mean, next week would have been great for Sonic Racing Crossworld. You can't do the same week. This is not smart. I get it. You want to have it out as soon as possible. But just push it back 1 week, and you might get a few sales. Now, I will say this. Who am I to tell Sega, gaming giant, what to do and not do? I'm just saying the facts are out there. If you put out an interview with somebody and you're like, man, Sonic Superstars didn't sell that well, I think Mario Wonder might have had a part to play. I'll link that interview down below. I'll link it. I saw it somewhere. Spread out the release dates or something. This is not smart. Anyways, it's out now. It's $10 if you already own the game. Interesting stuff to kick things off. But next, my friends, something I can tell you I didn't see coming. I don't know if anyone saw it coming. We got a free content update for Mario Kart freaking World. This was earlier this week. Didn't know it was coming. There's no announcement. I feel like sometimes you'll get that announcement from Nintendo. Oh my gosh, update next week for whatever game. Nothing. Not a blabber. I have no idea. Let's run through this update because they actually added some pretty cool things. I don't hate this. However, while I read these things, I just can't help but be like, why was this not there at launch? Anyway, let's go ahead and run through. So, there's a lot of stuff. First up, they added custom items to the item rules, which essentially lets you set which items will show up in your race. If you want to do just mushrooms, feel free. If you want to do just bullet bills, whatever you want to do, you can set custom items. Love that feature. No idea why it's not there when the game launches, but whatever. After that, made it so that the music track name and source title of the track that is playing will be displayed on the pause menu. That's cool, because, Mario Kart World has so much music, and, well, most Mario fans can identify a good chunk of it. You don't always know what's playing, so I will take this very gladly. After that, added music volume to the settings. We can change the volume of the music. Made it so players who gathered in a room of online play... Sorry, I think this is a typo. So players who gathered in a room... Oh, no, I'm just dumb. In a room of online play, I am just dumb. Can participate in race, knockout tour, and battle. And up to 4 players can participate in race, knockout tour, and battle. Pretty weird note there, but let's move on. Made it so you can join in with friends who are playing Knockout Tour from the Friends tab. Very cool. Added Restart and Next Race in the pause menu for versus races and in single player. That's cool. You can redo a race. I'll take it. I will take that. Made it so you can select photo mode from the pause menu in Race Against Ghost in Time Trials. So they're adding pretty random things, I can say, to random modes. They're adding photo mode from pause menu in time trial. What are we doing? So they're adding a bunch of random stuff. The biggest things I think we kind of got out of the way. The other interesting thing is they changed, and I quote here, they changed the course layout of a few courses for versus races or just the normal race in online play. And I think it's just the order of the races. So they changed it a lot. I would read them to you, but they're so, I'm going to be reading for a few minutes here. So I'll link it all down below. You can see it there, or I'll put it on screen. One of the two. Well, this is a lot to put on screen. It's going to be tough. Link down below. You can check it out for yourself. And apart from that, there's some smaller things. Made it so the player will not hit Dragon Eel when transformed into Bullet Bill. Very tiny, just improvements to make things smoother and nicer. When a coin is placed on water, when a coin placed is taken by somebody, it shortens the time until that coin respawns. Very small things. So, Mario Kart World update. I'll take it. There's some good stuff in here. I'm not mad at it. We will be downloading. The only thing is, does it make me turn the game on again? Not really. So, I don't know what we're doing here. I'll take it. Can't complain. Let's freaking go. After that, folks, I do want to dive into some seasonal Nintendo news, because that is something that I do quite like a lot. And that is the fact that there are new Nintendo Switch Online holiday icons out now. So if you have seen the pattern, Nintendo seems to release Nintendo Switch Online holiday icons every single year, dating back to, I believe, 2021 or 2, somewhere in there. I think it was 2022. With that said, we have the 2025 batch, and I will throw them up on screen for our video listeners. I gotta say, guys, I gotta really just speak my mind. I think these are the worst ones yet. And the thing is, here's the problem. I'm probably getting flamed right now. These are not that bad. They're not bad. You have Mario, you got Luigi, you have Peach. Here's my problem. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you look at all the other icons that we have like Snowman Mario. We have a Mario like holding a gift. We've got, Luigi. I forget all the other ones, but I was looking at them this morning. I was like, man, these are way better. You got all the snowmen. You got Toad with here, my icon right now is Toad. I believe it's like Toad with a present or something. Like, there are some nice icons. These ones here, you have Mario with the confetti popper, which, you know what? I'm about to just take back what I said about these being the worst. Because, I can understand you maybe having that as your icon when it comes to New Year's. Mario's holding a party popper. The Luigi icon is him. What is he doing? He's holding a... I have to get close to my monitor. What is that? What is he holding? Oh, I got it. He's holding a star balloon. Peach is holding... They're all holding New Year's things. I actually... You know what? This is terrible of me. I come out with the hot take. These are the worst yet. I might retract the statement. Because I can see somebody having these for the New Year's festivities. I guess what I was looking for were more Christmas icons, like we've gotten for the last 3 years. I don't know. I can see the appeal. Now, there are some icons here that are presents, like, gifts and stuff, but they have, like, the Mario overalls on it. I'll link all these down below for our audio listeners if you do want to see these, because I feel like I'm just kind of, describing random stuff. But they're nice, they're cool. I bought all the icons already, even though I don't love them, and I'm not even using them right now. They're out there if you do want to get them, and they'll be there until, I believe, like, right before Christmas, so you do have some time there. Very cool. After that, we can dive into this real quick. It's not a piece of news that I'm hyped for, but I do like to see Nintendo do these collabs every now and then. Kung Fu Tea x Pokemon collaboration has been announced. I don't go to Kung Fu Tea. That's not what I'm about. I'm sure it's fine. Never been there in my life. Pokemon collab, Kung Fu Tea. It's real, folks. So, their slogan for this collaboration is, gotta sip them all. That's creative enough. There are 3 new drinks at Kung Fu Tea, one of them being the Mega Evolution Matcha, which is a creamy and buttery matcha combined with warm, sweet brown sugar boba. Listen, it sounds great. And I don't know if you all have seen the memes that I've been seeing on my feed. Maybe I'm just like in a very niche Instagram Reels scrolling pattern. But I get all these Instagram Reels, and I don't watch TikTok, but I'm sure it's on there too, of these guys with quarter zips or whatever. And the meme is like people, when they put on a quarter zip, they become sophisticated. They start drinking matcha tea. They start playing chess. Man, maybe I should grab a quarter zip and get this Mega Evolution Matcha. I don't know. Maybe there can be like a bit of a redemption arc for me. I can become more manly, I guess. Anyways, after that, we have the ZA, Pokemon Legends ZA, Royal Milk Tea, which is a blend of tart passion fruit, creamy coconut, and fresh green tea topped off with sweet and classic honey boba. I still prefer the first one based on how it sounds, the Mega Evolution Matcha. And then the final little tea they are collaborating on is the Prism Town Punch, which by all means is just tropical punch. Guys, if you go to your local Kung Fu Tea and you see your boy in a Ralph Lauren quarter zip drinking Mega Evolution Matcha, don't be surprised, all right? This collaboration ends January 31st of next year. Next up on the news, we've got something that everyone knows about. And that is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond released. that's the news. I'm not going to dive into it. I'm not going to like make it a whole big thing that it doesn't need to be. The game released, if you didn't know, it's out now. $70 on Nintendo Switch 2, $60 on the Nintendo Switch. Pick which one you would like. Boom. That's all. After that is where we dive in to that Mario Kart World theory that I teased at the start of the episode. And this is interesting. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I believe it. I fully believe it. I think it's happening. I think it makes sense. I think there's no other explanation for what has been data mined. I am buying into the hype, okay? So, here's what we got going on. I will give you one warning and one warning only. This contains spoilers if you have not played Donkey Kong Bonanza. Here is your one and only warning. If you want to skip to the Metroid segment, do so now. There are timestamps in the description. All right, is the warning done? Donkey Kong Bonanza spoiler. All right, you're listening. You didn't skip. All right, I'm going to dive into it. So, here's the Mario Kart World DLC theory. Apparently, and I don't ever use Nintendo Today, their mobile app, so I didn't see this. There's apparently a brand new update to Nintendo's mobile app called Nintendo Today. And it includes a Donkey Kong theme of some sorts. And dude, I'm going to go ahead and open up this Nintendo Today app to get it from two angles here. The news and my point of view. So, Nintendo Today, I opened up the app. I don't see a Donkey Kong theme of any sort, but maybe I have to update the app. So, basically, Nintendo Today got an update. And a lot of data miners out there, I don't know how they get this information. I don't know how they get this, okay? But they're saying they found out that there's an animation that will be posted on December 15th, which, by the way, as of this podcast being posted, is 9 days away. There will be an animation on the app of King K. Rool. Now, the working theory, is that when Mario Kart World at the Game Awards inevitably wins some award there, they're going to announce DLC for Mario Kart World, and who's going to be in it? They're saying King K. Rool. Now listen, this makes sense, and what's also interesting is if this is true, this is the first time Nintendo has publicly acknowledged King K. Rool since the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is interesting. So it seems like in Nintendo's eyes, 5 months is the sweet spot before they can start spoiling games for you. Okay, there's a 5-month window. So if it's December, next May, we'll start seeing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond spoilers on the timeline. So beware. But apparently, they're saying King K. Rool is going to be on the Nintendo Today app, and that means Mario Kart DLC. Now, I'm on my phone here trying to update. No, I have the latest version of the Nintendo Today. Yeah, so it says the Donkey Kong theme has been added. Okay, where do I see this Donkey Kong theme? I don't even... Oh, I'm so dumb. You go to the settings and change your theme. That's how you do it. I don't use this app, guys. I'm unk for real. But there's a Donkey Kong theme. They must have added in some King K. Rool something that's coming soon. We will see. But that is the working theory, my friends. Do comment down below whether or not you believe this theory that Mario Kart World will get DLC at the Game Awards when it wins some award there, whether it be, what's it up for? Best family game and best racing game? Best sports racing game? Whatever it is. It's up for a couple awards. So we'll see. We will see. I always wonder, I guess they don't have to win an award to announce something, but if Mario Kart World didn't win anything, which it will, it's gonna win something. It's probably gonna win Best Family Game. If they didn't win anything, how weird is it to announce more content for it? It's like, well, we didn't win, but we do want to shove some DLC in your face. Now, also, a good thing to point out, we don't know if this is paid or if it's not paid. I hope it's not paid. I'm not paying, well, I will pay, but I usually wouldn't pay for King K. Rool DLC, and maybe they'll add a few tracks or whatever. I usually wouldn't pay. I'm going to do it because I do this podcast thing. We'll see. Well, it's not even a confirmed thing. But even if this does not happen, do check back on Nintendo Today to see if there is that King K. Rool animation, whatever that is, on December 15th. Do check back. We will see how that goes. But folks, it is time to get to the segment you must have clicked on this podcast for, and that is our first impressions on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, where AndresRestart will be joining us to explain to us Metroid Prime 4 and all the goodness that surrounds that. Should you buy it? Should you not? Is it worth it? Are the review scores online accurate? Should you buy into the hype or no? We dive into that all right now. Andres, thank you so much for joining me for this segment. I appreciate it. How's it going?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's been a busy few hours, but or a few days. It's actually been a busy few weeks leading up to the release of this game, but I'm excited to talk about it with you.
Heck yeah. And so I was telling you this off the podcast, but I am no Metroid expert, and I've seen your coverage. You're killing it. You have a video coming out, which will be out by the time this podcast comes out. Everyone check it out. You seem like Metroid Man, and I'm going to be interviewing you, asking you some questions. I have dabbled in the game, but not as much as you have and most people have. So I kind of just want to shoot here. Can you, and you don't have to give some crazy answer, but can you basically sell me on Metroid Prime 4? Why should I care? Because I put out polls, Andres, and I see a lot of people being like, no, I'm not buying Metroid, zero interest. Why should I care here?
It's Metroid Prime. Like, I'm playing the game. It is Metroid Prime, and honestly, I think this is going to go down as one of the most underrated games. Because I'm sure you've seen the critical, what critics have had to say, like the reviews have come out, right? And like, you know, if it was a normal Nintendo game, people would be like, oh, okay, that's fine, right? 8 out of 10, that's fine. But for Metroid standards, that's actually like really low, right? Because the series is known for 9s on a bad day, right? 9s out of 10s on a bad day, right? And Metroid Prime 4 has been getting a lot of. I mean, you know, when you look at Metacritic, right, there's always going to be some people that are the outliers that are going to drag the score down. And then you're going to have people that are going to over-embellish as well, right? But typically with Metroid Prime games, you fall somewhere between 9 and 10 on average. There have been a lot more people that have been unhappy with Metroid Prime 4. So right to this point, I'm not really selling you on the game, right? I'm just kind of letting you know how, like what critics have thought, right? But I think once it's all said and done, you know, as time goes on, we look upon this game, we're going to look upon this game as like, oh, that was actually like a really good game, and I think people were kind of overblowing certain issues. Because there are issues. I'll be clear. Like, there are issues, but what game doesn't have issues? Like, we look at Tears of the Kingdom, we consider all the dialogue around that game. That game was like one of the highest rated games ever. Yet we kind of like overanalyzed every little detail and complained about all these little things, but the overall experience is still pretty good. And I'll tell you, Metroid Prime 4 probably in a lot of ways is kind of better than Tears of the Kingdom in the sense of it's a brand new world to explore. This is one of the most like detailed, vast adventures Nintendo's put out in a very long time, and that was probably like a criticism people had for Tears of the Kingdom because it was kind of more Breath of the Wild. Metroid Prime 4 is a totally big, vast, beautiful world, and from a graphical, artistic perspective, this is maybe the best looking Nintendo game ever. And I feel like that point alone makes the game worthy of consideration. Sorry, my cat's like jumping around everywhere.
All good.
Yeah. As you said, she's moving the camera. But beyond just from the like, how much have you played the game? already?
Not a whole lot. I'm about 4 or 5 hours deep, but not much.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you're actually only a little bit behind me. It sounds like.
Oh, okay.
But although I'll also say that I'm the kind of person that like, I read every log entry. I'm scanning every little thing.
Right.
I'm messing around with the environment. So I've put in 6+ hours since yesterday, and I may not be as far as certain people put in the same amount of hours because I'm looking at every little detail.
Sure.
But going beyond the visuals, like visually, I think we're looking at one of the most diverse, beautiful games from Nintendo ever. From a sound design perspective, I strongly recommend you play this game with like a headset or a really good sound system. I haven't like played a game that has this level of sound detail in such a long time. Like, and so from those two perspectives, like literally, like it's not even like an opinion thing. Like from a technical perspective, visually and like in terms of layers of sound effects and things that are going on, there's way more in Metroid Prime 4 than you would come to expect from any Nintendo game. And so there's like a level of detail from those perspectives that I think makes this game worth considering on its own. But then let's talk about gameplay.
Sure.
This is I would say a subtle modernization of Metroid Prime 4 gameplay in terms of how Samus moves. They've kind of reworked her animations a little bit. You can do a little bit more between the morph ball and jumping into first person. Like you can kind of move around a little bit, which I think is kind of neat. They added a forward and backward dash. They've programmed a lot more situations where you lock onto an enemy and it actually makes sense to use the free aim on top of the lock on. And so that adds to the gameplay as well. And then of course you have a whole bunch of different control options. And so Samus plays better than ever before, looks better than ever before, sounds better than ever before. All that's like, I think really, really, really good things. And there is a lot of like typical Metroid Prime gameplay in there. There are just some things that I think some people right now are not big fans of. I think some of it is totally justified. But I also think it's kind of depends on your personal taste. It's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's just kind of like, okay, well, I didn't expect this for a Metroid Prime game, but it's in there. And so I think once time passes, some people are going to look at some of these things like the Federation troopers or the desert and be like, you know what? I didn't expect that, but it was different.
Gotcha. Speaking of one thing that you had said that I had seen, I want to get your take here. Yeah. I had seen some people saying, because I have gotten to these points, but I don't know if I just can't tell. I've seen some people talk about just how a lot of the game is very visually nice, but there's some parts where you're on the freaking bike and it looks awful. Do you feel that way, or are people on Twitter blowing it out of, proportion here?
I think people are blowing out of proportion.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I don't see the issue. Like, I mean, I'm playing the game on my Switch too. I'm playing it in 4K, 60 FPS, HDR. So I'm seeing it as it's supposed to look in the best way possible.
Right. Maybe it's Switch 1.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I've seen the comparisons are favorable. But either way, like, I mean, if you look at something like in a small Twitter clip on your phone and there's compression, maybe it doesn't look mind-blowing, but, there's a lot of subtlety that's lost when you do that. And I think when it comes to a desert, there's only so much you can depict when the subtleties are taken out. So, like, actually going into the desert, I was surprised at some of the cool effects. Like, if you just listen to the Twitter dialogue, you'd be left to think, man, this is like so anti-Retro Studios. For those who don't know, Retro Studios is a Nintendo developer that's known for making the Metroid Prime games, right? After so many years have come back to it, and all their games, Donkey Kong and Metroid, have always had so much level of detail, and from a visual perspective, like, Retro Studios is probably the most ambitious Nintendo developer, which is why they were probably a good fit for Metroid Prime 4. But if you just look at like the Twitter dialogue, you'd be left to think that the desert is like very anti-retro. But playing the game, getting into the desert, I do not think that. I think, wow, there are things here I was not prepared to see. Like, if you like, so when you're in the desert, sometimes you'll hear like the wind blow, and you can hear the sand being pushed by the wind. And then you turn around and you see like specks of sand being blown across the surface of the desert through the wind, which is just like a really cool visual effect that I would never expect to see on a Switch title. And then you'll see, and you look off into the distance and you'll see like a welling of the sand as it hits like this big structure. So like there's cool like wind and like sand particle effects in the air that kind of depict like like an actual like real desert. You know, it's not just, hey, let's just put a flat texture that's make it like orangish brown and walk on it. It's not that. Like there's a lot of detail there, and then obviously like if you look at the sand, like it looks like sand when you're walking on it. I do think when you go into Viola, which you can jump into you can walk through the entire desert in first person if you want to. That would just be very slow. Yeah. When you do that though in first person, you see everything a lot closer. So you see that detail. When you're in Viola, things do pull back a little bit, so you can't see as much of the detail. And maybe that's part of like why some people think like it's not that impressive because you don't see it because you're pulled back. But I also don't think it looks bad. It's just kind of, it's a desert. So I don't know what else people expect from a desert. And there's still like cool stuff, vistas in the background too. It's not like there's nothing in the background. So did you play? So you know the fight in the beginning, Tanamar, right?
Right. Right. Sorry, I said rice. Right. I was impressed by the beginning. I didn't know I was going to get thrown in this quickly.
Okay.
And it was very intense. One thing that I want to emphasize that you said, sound design's incredible. I mean, I have like a nice sound bar. The freaking bass is just zooming around. It's great. I love it. What did you think of the beginning?
The beginning, I mean, the thing is like I've analyzed it a billion times over, right? And I played the demo of it, and I've looked at the footage like so many times. So I guess it didn't hit me as much as it could because I was it felt extremely familiar, right? Because that I've just been there already. But I mean, it's kind of like when I'm there, I'm testing out just how the game feels. You know, I'm messing around, jumping on rock, doing random weird stuff just to see how the game feels and looks and all that. And I mean, like I said, like what I said earlier, the sound design, visually, how Samus moves, I mess around with all that stuff there. Feels really good. I will tell you this, when I did play the demo, I, kind of give my impressions of it. And in the demo, I mean, I only had great things to say, but there was one criticism that I had, or a concern. It was how the morph ball felt. I felt like there was a delay with the morph ball bombs. And it turns out that was just an issue with the demo station. Playing it now on my actual own console feels like morph ball has always felt. Like it feels fine. The bombs feel fine. It's everything's super responsive. Feels great. It's really cool just to go into morph ball and just see the rain hitting the morph ball, seeing the shine of the water. Like it's just a cool effect. Yeah, I mean, I like Tanamar. It's fun. It's quick. It's a nice little introduction to kind of set the setting, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good 10-minute intro, I suppose.
For sure. What are some of the cons that you see with the game? I know it's like you've been waiting for this. It's mostly great, but if there are any negatives, what are they?
Yeah. So there are negatives. I would say I have personal nitpicks that I haven't seen anyone bring up in any reviews at all. They're like super subtle little things that I have bigger issues with than the things that other people are talking about. Like a lot of people talk about how the desert is like boring and empty. I personally don't think it's boring and empty. Like I think it's really fun. I think the physics of like jumping from dune to dune is really cool, and the speed. And I've been running into a lot of like really cool like shrines and ruins. But anyways, that's not a criticism. That's a compliment. Some minor criticisms I've had, like just some little visual details that I would have assumed Retro would have gotten right that they didn't. So like in the save, I almost don't want to say this because once I say it, it might ruin it for people. But so when you go to a save station, once you unlock some of the beam weapons, your arm cannon looks different when using a different beam weapon, right? at least in the one save station that I just noticed this in, maybe it's different in others, and it's just like a weird quirk of that one save station. But when I went to the save station, it shows Samus. You know, when it has a little cutscene where you see Samus in third person when you're saving, you can see Samus's arm cannon. You see her whole body, including her arm cannon. It's her normal arm cannon, but if you're switched into your beam weapon, you don't see her beam weapon there. So it's like a weird little continuity issue, because in prior Metroid Prime games, if you were switched to the wave beam or the ice beam or the dark beam, you would see that reflected on her suit, on her body, on her arm when she's saving. For some reason, that's not reflecting now. Maybe that's just that one issue. I want to look at other save stations. Maybe it's just like a weird issue, but that is kind of like a weird little subtle detail, and I'm like, what happened there? Another random thing, like there's a lot of really cool like visual details, but I've noticed that like the water physics aren't as neat as they were in Metroid Prime 1. Like in Metroid Prime 1, you can go into water with a morph ball, you'll see all the ripples naturally. There's not a lot of water in Metroid Prime 4, so maybe that's why they didn't even bother to go through that technology. Maybe it was like, if you account for all the visual stuff going on in Metroid Prime 4, it would have been too much more for Switch 1 to handle. But like there is some water that's shallow, but even still, like you would think that maybe you would see some ripples. You'll see like some very basic like kind of like underwater like animation stuff, but you don't see like, you know, the flexibility of the water, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just some little things that I'm like, I would have assumed Retro would have put that in there. So maybe it's just all little things that are issue. The water thing might be an issue of just like Switch 1 hardware with all the other things it's trying to pull off. The save station thing, I think that's just like a mistake that they overlooked. Minor, not counting those minor like visual nitpicks, I would say the Federation troopers are an issue. Like they're not all bad. There are some actually, I think, some good stuff to them. I don't think the cutscenes are bad for the most part. I think when you look at them out of context, it's obviously, you know, out of context is not as good. I'm not trying to say that's like the best parts of the game either, but I don't think they necessarily ruin the experience. What I do think kind of hurts the experience a little bit though is during the gameplay, when they offer too much advice too quickly. That bothers me. Like the moment you unlock your missiles, it's not even 60 seconds before Miles is like, "Hey, why don't you use your new toy?" I wouldn't mind that if, let's say, I'm stuck there for 3 to 4 minutes, you know?
Right.
Do that. I think they just got to dial it back a little bit. And so that bothers... Basically, I think he chimes in too much. They just got to dial it back.
Sure.
I'll even say there are times where it's not even like a bad thing. There are times where he just kind of like offers some good exposition. Like he's like, "Oh, that tree's been around for a few thousand years." Like, "Oh, it's interesting they have that save station like equipment. That doesn't seem like it's possible in this era." So he notices some interesting things that kind of add to the lore of the world, which are cool. But it is a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of his dialogue. I'll say that like, I mean, you only interact with him in person like for a few minutes, and you fight alongside him a few times. And in those moments, I actually liked kind of fighting alongside of him because it wasn't that annoying. It actually was kind of an interesting challenge because the Grievers are like really aggressive, you know? And so I actually thought it was a neat balance given the environment we were in. If it was like Resident Evil 4, where Miles is like behind us the entire time and then Grievers are snatching him and he's like, "Oh, Samus, save me," that would be annoying. But it that doesn't happen. It's just in small little portions early on in the game for like 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, he just kind of chimes in on the comms sometimes, which I don't always like. But then I'll also say after a certain point, he gets like, there's radio silence. You can't reach him. He's like, "Oh, where's Miles?" Like it gets to a point where you almost miss Miles for a little bit. And I got stuck once or twice, and I actually wanted to call in on to him, and I couldn't. So there's like a weird hate-love relationship there. But it's definitely a little bit of a mixed bag. I definitely think that they could have executed it a little bit better.
Sure. Gotcha. Thank you for the detail. I appreciate it. Kind of the last thing that I want to go over here. From your first impressions, from your first little bit with the game, I always like to give a score. I feel like I can't even do that. What would you rate the game so far? I know that, there's a lot more to be played, a lot more to discover. Just like a first impressions out of 10.
So I would say like I think it's really cool that the world evolves as you play, which I think it's a really cool experience. There are just some really, really, really epic moments that I don't want to spoil. But I would say, given the weird annoyances of the Federation Trooper stuff, 9 out of 10. Like,
awesome.
A lot of the game in the first 6 hours feels like masterpiece material, but there are some oddities there. So 9 out of 10, I would say. And we'll see. It kind of depends how the game finishes, but I think that's probably a fair score so far.
Awesome. Being sort of new, I played Metroid Prime, the first one. I never got to 2 and 3, but playing this one, I'd probably land somewhere similar, like 8.5. I mean, I can't really say much, like, it's not a 10 because of this, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it, even for like not a huge Metroid guy. For the people out there who are not big Metroid people, I'm having fun. I'm shooting things. I'm running around. I'm jumping. It's great. I'm liking it. Andres, thank you so much for joining us for this segment, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing the insights. This was awesome. Welcome back in, folks, to the Question Block segment, where I am here to answer your questions you have asked me. If you out there listening to this podcast want to submit a question to possibly be on the show, there are a couple ways to do so. Number one, I post on my YouTube community tab every single week. That's not the best way. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. I would say the best way is to either write in the Discord server, linked down below in the podcast questions channel, write your question there, or email Mario Matter Questions with an S at the end at gmail.com. That is Mario Matter Questions at gmail.com. First question comes from Ryan, who asks, if you've played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, what are your thoughts on the game? Congrats on getting 2 million subscribers. Very proud of you. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That happened also over the last week. We hit 2 million on the main channel, EmSwizzle. Very cool. I remember one time, guys, it might have even been when I hit 1 million. I was on here like, man, we hit 1 million subscribers, and someone commented, bro, you have like 10,000, because they were watching the podcast channel. It's just funny. Like, I don't know if, like, how many people know that I have a separate channel outside the podcast. I don't know how many people know that. But if you don't know, now you do. Very cool. It's EmSwizzle. It's EmSwizzle. It is in the podcast name. Anywho, Ryan, thank you for asking this, because I did want to get to this. I told you all a few months ago, if you all are weekly listeners, that I bought some bad Christmas games. I bought Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I bought Elf on the Shelf Christmas Heroes for the PlayStation 5, both of those. And I'm a big Christmas video game guy. If there's one out there, I'm going to review it and play it. I played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the PlayStation 5, Switch, and Xbox. Not on all three consoles, but it's the same game across all. And I have my thoughts. I have collected my thoughts after hours of playtime. Let's talk. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the PlayStation 5, Switch, and Xbox, and PC. While I wanted to like the game, it's pretty mid. It's definitely mid. It's mid. I'm sorry, it's mid. It's a $40 game. You can easily get it for $20 when it's on sale, and it goes on sale often. It might even be on sale now, because this is the time to sell the game, because it is December. While I wanted to like it, you get in. Sure, there's cutscenes with the voice acting and stuff. Sure, you have that. But the platforming in itself is just low quality. It's like 3D platforming. It's a collect-a-thon. You just go and grab stuff while you're moving from point A to point B, which you can argue is any platforming game. But just the mechanics, the controls are wonky. The camera, if you get yourself in like a weird jump or like a weird spot, the camera's gonna be herky-jerky. It's not a smooth platforming experience by any means. It's not smooth. Is it fun? Is there music? Is it holly jolly? Yeah. But there's even like, this is how you know a game's just not great. When like the sound effects are just something they downloaded off of YouTube. Like when I don't know what it is. When you bounce on something in the game, it makes the most generic spring sound. I don't know, man. Like I just can't get into it if it's not going to be crazy high effort, you know? I don't know. It's not great. If you want it for Christmas times, shoot. But don't buy it otherwise. Now, I have yet to play Elf on the Shelf Christmas Heroes. If anyone's listening, please ask me about that next week. Because I will play it this weekend. And I will get you a verdict on that game. Anywho, Rudolph ain't as great as I wanted it to be. I paid full price. That's an idiot move on my end. Won't be doing it again. Anywho, now, let me put this out there. Is it better or worse than the Wii Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game? I say it's better. It's hard to be worse than the Wii one. The Wii one's awful. I mean, just atrocious. There's nothing to do. The new version's better. That's all I gotta say. After that, Super Nintendo Player asks, EmSwizzle, congratulations on getting 2 million subscribers. How do you feel about your achievement, and what are you planning to do with your channel in the future? Great question. Thank you very much. How do I feel about it? I feel great. I'm very grateful, but I feel like a lot of YouTubers say this, and it does ring true. You hit 2 million subscribers, and it's kind of like this thing. It's like you don't really want to celebrate it. You're just kind of like, woohoo, on to the next. I think my brain is just, and I'm not, alone. It's not some like, I'm not the only one with this problem, or is it a problem? I don't even know. You're just so wired to do the next goal, to get to the next goal. You're not really stopping to think about 2 million subscribers. Should I? Yes. Do I wish I was more like that, where I could celebrate? Yes. Am I? No. I don't hate it, though, because it is good to be focused on the next thing. What's that quote? If you sleep on a win, like if you celebrate it too much and you're just focused on that for like a week, you'll wake up with a loss. Sit on that one for a second. I mean, I just don't want to celebrate it for too long. I do like being focused on the next thing, but I do worry that when I'm 40, I will look back and be like, man, I do wish I did more of a celebration. But I mean, I did enough. I celebrated this more than I celebrated 1 million, probably. What did I do? I went to Chipotle with my guys. Ate a cookie cake that my mom made. Bless her. But besides that, it was wraps. Like, we put out a nice little video on Instagram, like kind of a short little recap video that I made pretty quickly. And that was a nice, like, celebratory moment. But even posting that, I just feel like, I hate posting, we hit 2 million, because it seems like I'm bragging. It's less that. It's more like, thank you guys. It's less like, look at me, 2 million. It's less that. It's not that at all, actually. It's not less that. It's not at all. So it's cool. What's your other part? What are you planning to do with your channel in the future? I think, and this is the answer that I always have, I think we just gotta keep pushing the EmSwizzle channel as far as it can go. I gotta do as much as possible. I gotta innovate. I gotta just keep on building on what we've got here. And as long as we're doing that and we're hitting goals, I'm incredibly happy. So I think just keep building. There's no at the ripe age of 19, I don't know if there's a goal in my mind, or that I should have a goal in mind where it's like, I want to make a video game, or I want to inspire the next generation. I don't know. This is big talk for me. I don't know. But I think just keep building for now. If there's something that I really want to accomplish and it's a goal, you'll hear that from me when I get asked this question again. But as of right now, it's just keep on building on what we're doing. Keep expanding. Can you put it that way? Expanding? Is that a good word? I don't know. But yeah, just keep on going. Just keep going. Just don't stop or slow down. Just keep going and get better and do more and maximize and all the good terms that fit that. So that's kind of where I see everything going. The Luigi Matter asks, do you think you could beat up a Koopa Paratroopa in a solo fight? Let's talk. I actually have a little bit of a story, which is crazy to say, because who can read that question? Koopa Paratroopa, which are the ones that fly. Who could read, do you think you could beat up a Koopa Paratroopa in a solo fight? And then say, I have a story to tell you. No, I didn't actually fight one. But here's the story. So, do I think I could beat one? Probably not, and here's why. I one day was just chilling. I don't know if I was working. I don't know if this was even... This might have been like pre my YouTube Shorts era on YouTube, like back in 2022, right? My brother goes to get the mail. You know, as one does. We all live in the same house. You go get the mail, you come back. Simple enough, right? Come to find out, in my mailbox, my house's mailbox, there's a bird's nest. I don't know if this is standard in mailboxes, all right, so please forgive me. But on the mailbox, you open the mailbox and your mail is in there. There's like a bottom part. Isn't that where they put like the freaking newspaper? I don't know. Listen, I'm a young buck. Don't judge me. But in the bottom part of the mailbox, there's a bird's nest. For the longest time, when we'd go get the mail. Okay, so sorry. Let me finish the story. So he texts my family. He's like, I went to get the mail, and I guess it was the mama bird. This bird is dive bombing me. And I'm like, what does that mean? So time passes. This is like a day or two later. I go get the mail because I have something in there. I have no idea. I walk to the mailbox and just all of a sudden, I don't even know how it like came into my view. You see this big mama bird like swoop down towards your head. And like, I don't know if it would have hit me if I didn't duck or what. But like, bro, this is the closest thing I ever got to fighting a Koopa Paratroopa in real life. Like, this is crazy. It's like it tried to kill me. So it's attacking me. And it didn't do it once. It was going to do it like 3 more times. Imagine you're walking to your mailbox and a bird flies for your head. What do? You duck and run inside. I mean, it was crazy. So our mail is just not getting got. No one's getting the mail. I'll tell you that much. And so our mail's sitting there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just like picked up their nest and ditched. They aren't there anymore. So that's all done now. Now, to answer your question, the reason I bring up that story is because that is the closest I ever got to fighting something that is flying. Would I beat Koopa Paratroopa in a fight based on my last flying bird interaction? I say no. I probably wouldn't. However, I will say this. Koopa Paratroopas don't have weapons. Like, they don't have hammer bros like the Hammer Bros. Sorry, they don't have hammers like the Hammer Bros. I guess if a Koopa Paratroopa is capable of dive bombing, yes, I would lose. Or no, I wouldn't win. What's the better way to phrase it? No, I would not win. That sounds good. Yeah, I would lose. I just saw that question and I was like, let me tell this story because that's the closest I ever got. All right, next we have, and I hope I'm saying this right, Anad asks, hello Max, are you interested in playing indie games and have you played any before? Especially since games like Hollow Knight Silksong are popular on the Switch too, and I would recommend playing it. Thank you. Yeah, so I play a fair share of indie games. I play Stardew Valley. Guys, there's this game on PC. You gotta play it. I think it's an indie game. It sure looks like one. It's called Web Fishing, where what you do is you are this character and you just go fish in like a pond and there's other online players around the pond that you're fishing at, and you just talk to them while you're fishing. Like, not voice chat, but like text. Dude, it's cool. It's cool. It's actually cool. I like web fishing. That's a fun game. It's not on Switch, but that's fun. I like. I have more indie games than that. Dinkum is a great one. Dinkum, that came to Switch recently. I've been playing that since like 2022, like when it was early build, pre-release. So Dinkum is legit, I can tell you that. Stardew, Dinkum, web fishing are like the big three. Is Go-Go Town an indie game? I don't know. Also indie game that came out recently, I've not gotten to play fully yet, is it Light Up the Christmas Town? Light Up the Christmas. It's something like that. It's a Christmas decorating simulator, at least for like the outside. I'm not totally sure what the game entails, but that's also an indie game. Pretty fun. I played the demo. Cool. I like those indie games. I've not played Hollow Knight Silk Song. I know, yes, Max, it's a crime. Go ahead and flame me in the comments. I've not played the game. I don't know. I see my video game playing dropping like weekly. Like, if you look at, listen, I can't wait until I get my Nintendo Switch wrapped, and we can go into that on this podcast. You will see, like, my most played months are not any of the last, well, my most played months is probably June, because Switch 2. But, like, my most played months on Switch are not the last 3 months. I barely play games anymore. I don't know what it is. Now, I'm very passionate about the games. I buy Metroid day one. I'm, like, playing for a couple hours. Maybe I'm just, like, maybe I just should face it. Maybe I'm just a Nintendo game tester. Like, bro, I'll come on here and do my first impression segment after playing, like a few hours of a game. And then maybe I'm just done. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Nintendo game demoer who also has a podcast. I don't know what I am anymore. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I guess to answer, I have not played Silk Song just because I just don't play much anymore. Like, I haven't. What's another big game I haven't played? I've not beaten Legend ZA yet. I should. But yeah, I will take your recommendation. If I ever do get bored, I will look into Hollow Knight. I will look into Hollow Knight for sure. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Finally, Saved by Grace asks, "Hi, my brother listens to your podcast every night and morning, and he gets so excited when you drop a video. Thanks for giving him a thing to look forward to every week. His name is Mark. Could you give him a shout out, please? God bless you and your family." Mark, how's it going, brother? Thank you for listening to the Mario Matter every week. We appreciate it over here. We hope that we bring smiles to the faces of everyone listening. Mark, thank you. Your support is very much appreciated. Everyone, shout out to Mark. Folks, thank you so much for listening to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast. I will be back with a guest. I think we have 2 guest episodes in a row coming up. We apologize for the lack of guests in the recent weeks. It's just been tough. You got Kirby Air Riders, so I wanted that episode to be solo. And then you had Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna make excuses by any stretch. We're gonna shut up and we're gonna get back on track this upcoming week. This next week, the one after that. And then the one after that might be solo because it is Christmas week. You can't really bother people that week. So, we'll have 2 guest episodes. Then we'll kind of recalibrate with the solos. But folks, I will see you all next Saturday for even more Nintendo goodness. Have an amazing rest of your week, day, month, year. I will see you in the next one. Adios.